Wait till you see the latest that just came out on the $2,400 extra expanded stimulus checks to Social Security. Now, this was reintroduced, and wait till you see what just came out on this. Just take a look at this. Bernie Sanders is now asking Elon Musk in his bill to pay $2.9 billion to boost your Social Security by $2,400. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, as we've been hearing them say that the wealthiest among us should pay their fair share into Social Security. Do you think that $2.9 billion is a bit much? Is that egregious? Or when we take a look at the actual income of Elon Musk, is this his fair share? Let me know your thoughts. But Bernie Sanders is saying this is the way to get that Social Security Expansion Act paid for. Elon Musk is going to fit the bill to help provide Social Security to the United States of America. Now, we're going to be taking a look at this because he released this. Take a look. The top CEOs would have paid $3.4 billion more in taxes in 2021 under the Social Security Expansion Act. But the question is, $3.4 billion, is that going to be enough? As you guys know, I've been letting you know here on the channel that there is a solvency issue with Social Security. Well, we're going to be diving into the numbers, and I'm going to let you know the details as to what's unfolding, as at this present time, I've also let you know Social Security in 2023, that is the primary focus. And we've even heard that President Joe Biden, he is eyeing the Social Security Expansion Act from Bernie Sanders, taking it into consideration, as they have got to reform the system. However, I let you know in a previous video that there is a small hang up that President Joe Biden has with this bill. And also, I've let you know, stick around to the end, that in the month of March for 2023, if you're on SSI, you're going to be getting that double payment here very soon. And I have shared this with you on the actual schedule for the Social Security benefit payment calendar. We'll take a look at it again. Just a reminder that you're going to be getting a check a little bit early, so you'll get two in March, but do not get it mixed up. It is that April payment just a little bit early, but I'll give you all the details at the end of this video as well. Also, a word from today's video sponsor, but more on that later in the video. But let's dive into the latest, because I know a lot of people are wondering, are they going to expand Social Security benefits? Are we going to get that extra $200 per month we were promised, or $2,400 extra a year? What is going on with Social Security? They need to address the issues. It's not keeping up with inflation. Those that are collecting it are just barely getting by with the way that inflation is going, and they need to fix the system soon, because pretty soon the funds are going to be running out, and everybody that collects Social Security will get a cut. They're saying of 80 to 75% of your benefits will come in, 20 to 25% will get cut. You will not receive them. That's going to happen across the board. So they have got to make some changes. So let's dive into the latest. Before we do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget, smash that like button for me. Just takes a second. Helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. And if you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not just hit the subscribe button? Turn on the notification bell. I'll let you know everything going on, so you can prepare and be ready and know what's available for you and your family. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. Fact: you lose about 100 hairs per day. It's just a part of the natural cycle. But for some folks, that hair doesn't grow back. But with Roman, you can fight back against thinning hair. And the sooner a person begins treatment against hair loss, the more likely they are to keep the hair that they currently have. And in some cases, you can even regrow some of the hair that you've lost. For a lot of men, losing their hair means losing their confidence, as studies show that up to 62% of men agree that hair loss can affect their self-esteem. Thankfully, Roman makes it easy for you to address hair loss with a range of oral prescriptions and over-the-counter topical treatments to help you regain confidence from the top down. So whether you're rocking a buzz cut, braids, or a mohawk, you can find the hair loss treatment to help you keep the style you like. Simply go to ro.co/Steve Ram today, and you'll get your first month of treatment free. And again, thank you to today's video sponsor, Roman. Link in the description below. I hope it's a blessing to you. All right, so let's get right to it. Bernie Sanders' bill is asking Elon Musk to pay an additional $2.9 billion to boost your Social Security by $2,400 or $200 a month. Let me know if you think that's a good idea in the comments down below. Now, the article says, while the current Social Security Trust Fund may come up short sometime in 2034, and we're actually hearing it's probably going to be sooner than that due to the way that inflation and the COLA increases are going, according to recent projections. projections. But the reality is that the program is simply too important and too popular with the majority of Americans that it would ever be allowed to run dry. And I've mentioned this several times here on the channel. They have got to do something. There are literally tens of millions of Americans depending on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and we actually at this present time have bipartisan support to reform the entire system. It's just that Republicans and Democrats right now can't see eye to eye on how to do so. Social Security has been around for well over 80 years now, and it has more support than just about any other government function. It is highly unlikely that it is going to disappear anytime soon, but they have got to reform it soon, because if they do not, as I mentioned, there's going to be cuts to Social Security across the board due to a lack of funding. What Social Security does need is a plan to make up the projected deficit that, at worst, would cut benefit checks by about 20% sometime in the future. Now, that plan could be the one that was recently unveiled by Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and U.S. House Representatives. The proposal measure, dubbed the Social Security Expansion Act, would expand the benefits by an average of $2,400 a year per person and completely finance Social Security for the next 75 years. The bill calls for a new tax on some investment income and the elimination of the cap on wages tax to support Social Security's trust fund. Under existing law, the payroll tax rate is 12.4%, half paid by workers, half paid by the employers, with self-employed workers paying the entire amount. Now, in 2023, all earned income above $160,200 is exempt from Social Security tax, while investment income isn't taxed at all. So in other words, if you're working and you collect anything less every year than $160,200, all of your income is taxed for Social Security. However, if you make more than that, and this is why they're saying that some of the wealthiest among us aren't paying the same percentage into Social Security, anything over $160,200 is not taxed. So millionaires and billionaires earning tons of money, they're paying the same amount as somebody else that makes $160,200. Now, under the proposed Social Security Expansion Act, investment income would be taxed as well at the self-employed payroll rate of 12.4%, starting at $200,000 for individuals and $250,000 for joint tax filers. Now, in addition, income of $250,000 or more would be subject to payroll tax. Income in the gap between the current wage and $250,000 wouldn't be taxed. So $160,200, anything over that, not taxed until you hit that mark of $250,000. Now, instead, the proposed rules would wait until the wage cap rises to $250,000, at which point the cap becomes mute. Now, Sanders released a table showing the effect of the tax on the top 10 highest earning CEOs. So you're going to see here in a second what it looks like in the United States, with compensation of $23.5 billion in 2022. Tesla's CEO Elon Musk paid a Social Security tax rate of 0.00004% on earnings. Under the Social Security Expansion Act, Musk would pay an additional $2.9 billion into Social Security, leaving him with still an impressive $21.5 billion paycheck. The legislation that we have introduced today will expand Social Security benefits by $2,400 a year and will extend the solvency of Social Security for the next 75 years by making sure that the wealthiest people in our society pay their fair share into the system, Bernie Sanders said. Wow. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, let's take a look at this table that he released showing this. Now, you can see the top CEOs would pay an additional $3.4 billion in taxes for Social Security if this was implemented in 2021. And there you can see at the top of the list, Elon Musk for Tesla. He made $23.5 billion that year, and he paid a tax rate into Social Security of 0.00004%. So they're saying that he alone would provide an additional $2.9 billion. Now, here's the question, is that if we implement this, how much will it actually help resolve the Social Security solvency issue that we currently have? Well, the answer is, take a look at this. This is directly from the Social Security Administration's website at ssa.gov. It's not going to be enough. A 2021 annual deficit, so the same year, was $56.3 billion, that a decrease for the assets reserved in the combined OASDI trust funds to $2,852 billion at the end of the year. So in other words, we're running a deficit of about $56 billion every single year into Social Security. That's why they're saying we've got 10 years or less. And this Social Security Expansion Act that would tax the billionaires is only going to be contributing about $3.4 billion. So we're still short. However, that is just the top 10 CEOs. The question is, across the board, how much will this increase the amounts that are going to get poured into Social Security? Well, we will see. We will find out. And the question is that amount going to equate to an additional $50 billion that can be poured into Social Security to make up the deficit? If it does, then, well, it could be good. But the top 10 highest paid CEOs are only going to be pouring in an additional about $3 billion. I don't know if we're going to meet that mark. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, we have heard that at this time, President Joe Biden is taking this into consideration. I've let you know, but he does have an issue with that $250,000 cap, as I mentioned, because he has said that he has promised that anybody making less than $400,000 a year would not see a penny in additional tax, and that would break that promise. However, at this present time, a lot of people are saying the president broke his promise of an additional $2,400 a year or $200 per month. So you got to pick which promise almost do you want to break? Are you going to break both of them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, in addition to that, speaking of what you can expect, I've let you guys know that if you're on SSI, you're going to get that extra payment in March of $914. Now, to clarify, it is not an additional bonus payment. It is just that April payment a little bit early, and I've shared with you guys the actual schedule from the Social Security Administration. As you can see here, if you collect retirement, SSDI, you should get your payments on the regular calendar schedule. However, if you collect SSI on the 1st in April, you will see there is no payment, and that is because it is going to come on March 31st. And if you're on SSI, you should expect to see that payment a little bit early. Now, in addition to that, if you want some more information on President Joe Biden right now, taking into consideration the Social Security Expansion Act or the double payments for March for SSI, be sure to check out these videos next as I covered them in detail for you. And as more information rolls out, I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.